Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you all for being here. A few announcements. I want to share with you that the full moon in Scorpio, which is Wesak celebration, will be on May 1st this year, which will be on a Friday. We will celebrate Wesak on the Sunday on May 3rd. So put that in your calendar. The details will be coming shortly, but if you want to reserve that date, for whatever reason, if you're planning vacations or whatever, May 3rd is the day we're celebrating Wesak online. The other thing I wanted to have a quick conversation about. So I typically receive the channeling, the prediction channeling from the Galactic Region Council by the end of December going into January. Sometimes it's the first or second week of January. There are other times where I receive sometimes two messages in 1 year. One around January and maybe, let's say, April, May, some of this additional message. For reasons that I couldn't have explained up till 2 days ago, it's been very difficult for me to make a permanent connection with the Guardian, with the Galactic Region Council. Although a connection was established 3 weeks ago. First of all, in December, I was publishing the book. There was a lot of things going on. I couldn't focus and clear my mind because I have to be in a complete state of surrender. I have to be completely unburdened to be able to channel such powerful galactic beings. So it must have been about 3 weeks ago, whilst I was trying to walk to meet with a friend, I began to feel the connection and I began to hear a voice speaking to me, like I usually do, in a language that's not mine. And I realized, okay, the channeling is coming. But when I returned, because I was meeting with a friend, we talked, blah, 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 hang out. And when I returned, I started waiting for the rest of the channeling to come in. It didn't come. And this has happened several times since then. And I've begun to, 2 days ago, to realize why. And I want to share that with you. The part of me that's energetic, that is already inside God, that is probably deeply spiritual, already knows the truth. I already know what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. But the part of me that is human has a disconnection because I am not frontal lobe cerebrally ready or mentally ready to process the kind of rapid change and abrupt and accelerated change that are going to happen for this year. This year in the feng shui calendar is the year of the fire horse, and there's a lot of rapid changes that are going to happen. It's a year of purging, it's a year of cleansing, but it's also a year of change that are so rapid and so complicated that they're going to send a whole bunch of things that are not pure, that are corrupted, in chaos. And the part of me that's human is having problem at being neutral to this. Now I'm working on this. I've worked on this all day. I'm going to work on it again tomorrow, and hopefully this week I will begin to have a steady and complete connection to the Guardian, to the Galactic Region Council. That way I can bring the whole channeling down. So I wanted to share that with you to make you understand that sometimes it's I thought I can't fake the connection. It's either there or it's not there. This is why WESAC is always complicated for me. If I'm channeling 4 or 5 different entities, 3 entities, four celestial beings, one angel, one ascended master, however, I have to be neutral to these beings days in advance. I have to make sure that the connection is there so that when I call them, they actually show up. Otherwise, I'm going to sit there with nothing but crickets. And I'm going to feel, sense, and have nothing to say. And because I can't fake it. Right? And so I want you to understand this, is that these rapid, accelerated, and terrifying changes that are happening around the planet are ultimately for the highest good, but there is a part of it that's also very disconcerting for my human part, because my comfort level, however I was acclimated to exist, will probably change very rapidly by the end of the year because of the changes that are coming. So I have to be neutral enough to yield and to accept whatever it is that's coming forth for me. Okay? So I will keep you posted. Hopefully by the week's end, I'll have something, and I'll be able to send it out to everyone as the channeling of the prediction channeling. It's not just prediction. Part of it is actually the prediction is only 1 or 2 paragraphs. The rest of it is about explanation about the attitude change and the consciousness shift that we need to have to acclimate to the rapid changes that are coming in. I remember the Galactic Christian Council years ago called this time the quickening. Now more than ever, karma is accelerated, and also change, time is accelerated. Meaning things are going to happen very fast and very rapidly. It could be positive, it could be negative, depending on where you fall on your the fulfillment of your purpose. What doesn't serve you will disappear very quickly. All right. So 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, we were talking about the pitch that we hear, the hum and the pitch with the static as a way to connect us directly with the monad. I had shared with you that I've been trying to teach you how to do this for many, many, many years. For those of you who've been with me for a long time, I've talked about this over and over again. And I have found that at least I couldn't explain it in a way that could make you understand it, because it's something I kind of, like, from a soul level in meditation practice, stumbled upon. And it has to do with the fact that that sound, that pitch, that kind of static noise, that when you're in stillness and in silence that you hear in the background, is actually a direct connection to God, to the God realm and the God force. That pitch, that sound, that you hear is actually a direct connection to the monad. According to the video I sent you about 2 weeks ago, about that, this is a secret teaching that the church has been suppressing, a secret teaching of Jesus that the church has been suppressing for more since 3025 AD in the Nag Hammadi library. The Gospel of Philip, the Apocrypha of John, and the PC Sophia talks about this conversation that Jesus had with his most inner circle, in which he told his closest disciple how to have a direct knowledge of God, not to be an intermediary of a clergy, but a direct connection. You don't need to take sacrament, you don't need to have anything, you need to connect directly. And that direct connection comes from that pitch. That pitch is actually a vibratory or frequency release from God, creating a permanent bridge and connection between you as you're experiencing consciousness as a fragmented aspect, having an entire hierarchy above you. You know, seraphim, cherubim, throne, dominion, angel, archangel, principality, you know, virtues, etc. The whole hierarchy of being all the way up. What the Gnostic teaching was saying, and Jesus through the Gnostic teachers was saying, is that pitch, if you can hear it, if you teach yourself how to hear it by remaining silent and becoming aware of that sound and that pitch, it is a direct connection to God. But you can only hear it when you're in stillness. You have to allow the rest and the stillness of God to be with you. And remain in silence, and as you remain in silence and the pitch begin, pay attention to the pitch. There has to be recognition. The second step is the engagement. In other words, listen to it so closely that you're expecting the pitch to transform into a language that's going to teach you something. And when you get into that, it's going to tell me something. Because at first it's like, oh, it's kind of background noise. It's kind of annoying, it's background noise, I'm not going to pay attention to it. But it's the exact reverse that you must do. You must actually pay a lot of attention to it. And as you pay the attention to it, the pitch transforms into first, there are three levels of hearing. The first one is sometimes a sharp, this is higher pitch, a sharp pitch that you hear sometimes as a way, and it's typically in one ear. It's the way that God is trying to get your attention. Whatever you're doing at that moment, pay attention to it. This is your path, or it's a warning against what you're doing. You're not on the right path. Okay? The second one is the consistent pitch all the way across. This is something that the group that's in the Gnostic teaching of the Gospel of Philip, they call the nomadic beings, the beings who are basically the chosen one. They can hear that pitch. And when you begin to hear it consistently, you have to practice listening. Listening as if every cells in your body, the more than 100 trillion cells in your body, had ears. And through those trillions of ears, you're listening to what that pitch is. And that pitch is trying to reveal to you the true nature of consciousness, the true nature of light, and the true nature of being. That pitch is the bridge. And if you focus on it with the expectation that it's going to teach you something, it's going to reveal to you the truth, it's going to communicate to you, very increasingly you will begin to feel as if your eardrums are about to explode. There's going to be a lot of pressure in your eardrums. It's going to increase and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that pressure will begin to very quickly change into a psychic dissonance experience, meaning it appears that the vibration and the frequency you're receiving is communicating something that your energy body understands, but that your frontal lobe and your mind cannot comprehend at the time. And as you begin to focus on it, trying to understand it, and it doesn't happen in one day. You have to keep doing the practice, right? It's a practice, which means you have to do it daily. And as you keep doing, what's going to happen eventually, as you're listening to it, one day, it's going to be like a flash, without even thinking about it. Like this. You're going to find yourself in the white space. And now, the white space may be a goal, but even let me explain what the white space is. The white space is an experience first, and then I'll go back. The white space is actually, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, they call it Dharmata, or the essence of being. This is the way the universe and the infinity times infinity, and the essence of God really is. We exist in singularity of expression of God. We are a fixed point in time and space. We feel fragmented from God, and we think we're completely separated. But the fragmentation and the separation is not true. It's a time-space illusion. It's a space-time illusion created by a fallen being called the Demiurge. And the Demiurge keeps around us in this fragmentation volume or environment that we're in, a Zerapin, or a lesser version of God. It's not and that lesser version of God keep reinforcing the idea of a hierarchy. You're separating from God, and you have to supplicate God through mercy, through prayer, to all of this. You have to keep supplicating God, and you have to keep asking God for intercession, for doing this for you, because you're separated from it. But even though the Zerapin, the little fist of God, the lesser version of God, is all around us, and we are all entrapped in it, there is a connection to the true nature of God, and that connection is the pitch, the hum, and the sound. And that sound is a vibratory frequency that comes directly from the pleroma, or the monad, which is the realm that exists beyond the Zerapin, beyond the Demiurge, that's sending us back a way to return back to it. And you will hear the pitch, but also with a lot of static. Like I see if a TV was playing as this white noise in the background. And that white noise, that static, is the frequency traversing the density of the Zerapin, of the barrier that the Demiurge is creating. And as you focus more and more on it, and you pay, because what the Demiurge want to hold you still in the Zerapin is your attention, to keep making you believe you're separated from God. And the more you believe you're separated, that you're so small and you need intercession and you need help, you need support, the more you keep doing this, it's creating a kaleidoscope of connection to light, but it's a reflected light. It's an ingenious trap, I can tell you that. It's a reflected light. And it's so mesmerizing, and you keep thinking, oh my God, I'm almost there. I need to do one more prayer, one more this, one more that. I need to keep doing one more this and one more that or the other. And as you keep doing this, you don't realize this, you're still reinforcing fragmentation. Because you see yourself separated from the ultimate goal. When in fact you're never separated. As long as you can hear this, this is telling you that you're in it. You just don't see it. You don't experience it because you're in this mirage. You're not separated. And so it takes a lot of courage for somebody to pass this test. And it's the last test before ascension. It takes a lot of courage. Because a lot of us are not capable of having the courage, because you have to emancipate all the prayer, all the techniques that you've learned so far through your religious or your past spiritual practice. You have to let go of all of them. And you have to enter into a realm where you're no longer going to try to experience yourself as a singularity, a point in time and space, but as a plurality, as existing everywhere at the same time. So the white space is entering into that plurality. And the way we experience this is that as you're listening to the sound, and one day, as you're listening to it, all of a sudden, after doing the torsion field, of course, to guide us into alignment, and to surrender, to become completely neutral. Because in order for you to hear the pitch and be in the stillness and the rest of God, you have to be neutral. So you do the torsion field first to be neutral, and as you become completely neutral, then you can begin to focus on the rest and the serenity and the stillness of God, the fact that there's no thought. And as you're focusing on this, and one day all of a sudden the pressure increases, one day like this, snap, you find yourself suddenly into what I call I don't have terms to explain it, and the way I describe it is the white space. It's not a space, it's a 3D volume where consciousness enters into it in a blank. It's like you blink your eyelid and you find yourself there. And then when you go in, it feels the first time you go there, it's an accident. It will feel accidental, like it was not purposeful. Even though you did all this practice, it will feel completely accidental. Like, the kind of thing that happens when you're in meditation and it feels like, oh, where did I go? I seem to have blanked out, or I fell asleep. That kind of experience. Like you slide into something, right? And when you get there, you realize that you don't have a physical body. At least I don't when I go in there. I don't have a physical body. I know a friend of mine who never sees his face, but he sees his body, his arm and everything. I don't see my body. I don't have a body. I am kind of like a ghost inside the space. My presence and my awareness is there. And I feel like I'm inside this immense fog, this volume that's all around me. And very disorienting because there is no landmark. There is no recognizable landmark. In fact, everything is white, it's not like a fog. It looks like a fog, but it's not, you don't feel it like a fog. It's just this whiteness. And it's everywhere. And it feels that there's no depth. As my consciousness tries to probe it, I can't find the ends of it. I can't sense any landmark. There's no up, there's no down. It's just that it's all around me. And there is incredible rest. This is the other characteristic in there. When you go in, you feel rest like you have never felt rest before. Like you are so unburdened that you could sit in there for hours. In fact, I have. There are times I go in there, I think I'm there for 10 minutes, and 2 hours I elapse. I don't even know 2 hours went by. It feels like a blink. And my soul and every part of me is rested because I don't have to do, act, save, climb, rescue, nothing. And I can feel over time, going multiple days following the first crossing, I can feel for days afterwards, as I go back into it, that not only is it rest and stillness, but also I feel a sense of there are fluidic frequencies and vibration, because it's all frequency and vibration, like wave, like fluid. I feel fluid. I don't see fluid because everything is white, but I can feel it energetically that they're moving about the presence that I am, the consciousness that I am in that space. And the fluids are moving about me. And they are wrapping me, they are crashing onto me, they are moving all about me, and they're extremely dynamic, almost like the motion of a lava lamp. That's the best earth example I can describe it. Like that things are moving, very fluidic. And I want to share this with you because I'm trying to describe this in the best way possible, because you literally are on the threshold, all of you. You're right on the threshold, right on the edge. It's a matter of a little bit more practice before you fall into it. And the fascinating thing about this is that even now, even if you're not in the white space, you haven't fallen into it, because you're listening to the pitch and you're already connected to the bridge. All kind of miraculous and almost like undescribable synchronicities, and that's the best word I can use, are going to happen to you. I've had used that example before because it's the greatest one that I can use, and I shared it with you, and I had the permission of Celidia while she was still with us to describe this. When she had that experience where she was stuck in Atlanta, this is going back many years before the 2020, this is way back. She went to visit a friend in Atlanta, and she flies standby. She used to work for the airline, and she couldn't get a flight to return back. Every day that she went, 3 days after it was Memorial Day. Yeah, I think Memorial Day. She couldn't find a flight to return. Third day, she called me from the airport. She said, Pierre, she explained to me what was going on, and then she said, you need to help me get on this flight. I'm number 48 on the standby list. I don't know if I'm going to get a flight. The airport is crazy. It's so busy. I've been to Atlanta Airport. When it's busy, and it's big, it's long, it's very confusing. So I said, well, did you do a torsion field? She said, no. I said, okay, let me do one for you. Hang on. And as she was on a cell phone, I could hear the announcement that are being made at the gate in the background. Okay? So I asked the guardian to come around her with the intention, bring Celidia home. And I simply begun to guide the guardian, or actually let the guardian guide us to create the torsion field around her. I must have gotten to the 6th guardian. Then suddenly she said, wait a minute. They are making an announcement. Pierre, I call you back. She hung up the phone. I'm like, okay, something is happening. Then 10 or 15 minutes later, maybe 15, she calls me back and she said, we are taxiing out. I am in my seat. And everyone that was in standby are seated in the plane, and we are on our way to New York. Bless your holy name. I don't know what you did, but bless your holy name. Okay, here is the thing. And this is what I'm talking about, miraculous synchronicities. To me, what I did was blinking my eyelid. I did nothing. Unlike other system or method when you're trying to manifest, where you have to push a brick out, and you have to do all this effort and all this concentration and all of this ritual to try to call upon forces to create and all that. I never had the intention of taking all the passengers in standby and take them to New York immediately. That was not the intention. It was a single request. I was doing the torsion field to bring her to neutrality so that spirit, God, and the blessed field can bring her back home. It was not even complete. And all of them 15 minutes later were taxiing out, heading to New York. I didn't do it. But God and the blessed field that I'm connected to through that pitch heard me. And like this, created the miracle. So there'll be a lot of miracles, and there are too many instances that are similar to this to disclose, because people will think that I'm bragging, when in fact I didn't do anything. The only thing that I did is I had maintained the connection to that field, to the blessed field. And as long as the connection is there, you will think of something, and before you finish thinking of it, it's created. It shows up. This is an extraordinary thing. And in the video, they describe this. This is why the video shocked me, because everything that I was experiencing since 2013, all these series of miracles, everybody thought that I had all this ability and all this power. It's not me. It's God that I'm connected to that's doing everything, because I don't even finish the thought. I feel the intention in my heart, and it comes from a very pure place. I don't even finish the thought, and all of a sudden, like this, it shows up. It's complete. So I want you to understand what I'm saying. Even before you go into the experience of the white space, the fact that you are hearing the pitch and you're paying attention to it, and you can feel the increase in pressure, you're gonna all of a sudden, and as a result of this, when you finish the connection and go about your work or whatever it is that you're doing, live your life, these weird and bizarre, super enhanced synchronicities are gonna occur in your life. All because you're paying attention to that bridge and that connection, because there is no separation. What the pitch does for you is that instead of creating separation, it creates unity. It reminds you that you exist everywhere in the universe and you're part of God. You're not separated. That's what the connection is. And very similar to a flock of starlings. Sometimes 10,000, sometimes 20, 50, sometimes even 1 million of them around places in Europe, in the southern of Europe, south of Europe. A lot of them around dusk, they rise up and they surrender into a morphogenic field. And they're flying in close formation, and they create this whoosh sound, because their wings are flying together, and they're flying in weird, unusual. None of them ever collide with each other. The field is so intelligent. They surrender themselves completely to it, and the field, like this fluidic wave I was talking about, takes care of the entire collective. Harmoniously, perfectly. There's never any accident, any clash. This is what we have to learn how to do to help rescue this world. To become the starling and to surrender into this blessed field together. We need to learn to go back to that state of such deep surrender that a small intention of any of the starling individually, of a need or a desire that they have, the field responds and creates and manifests it in the most impossible and miraculous way. In no way or term was I ever thinking, when I was doing distortion field for Celidia, that I was going to take everybody that was in standby back to New York. First of all, I would never dreamed of this because I don't have that kind of power. I don't know how to do this. But I can make the request to the field, bring Celidia home. Years later, I had told Celidia, and I in a class like this, we were talking about this, and I said to Celidia, you do realize that this whole thing about taking the whole flight back with you. So if she was number 48, there were people behind him, there were people in front of her. Everybody got a seat. And she told me later on, she learned from because they didn't even check the boarding pass. They said, everybody gets on the plane. Everybody in the plane. Just go. This is why she said, well, I gotta go, I'll call you back. Everybody just go. She said to me that there was a connecting flight that was supposed to board onto this flight that were reserved. The flight was delayed and everybody got in. They didn't care where you sit, first class. It doesn't matter. Just go in, take a seat. Now, what I said to her is this: God didn't want to shock you and did a miracle to the measure that you were able to accept the miracle. She said, what do you mean? I said, if you were prepared for it and you were open to a true miracle, you would have found yourself in your driveway. In one blink of an eye, you would have found yourself in your driveway. She said, if that happened, I would have fallen to the ground with a heart attack. I said, that's why God didn't give it to you. God gave it to you in a way that you had to go on a plane, you had to board the plane, land, then drive home, you know what I'm saying, and then get to your house. That's acceptable to you. But really, to the field, if you're really prepared for it, it's there's no time, there's no space. One moment you're in the airport, the next moment you're in your driveway. So I want you to understand this. I'm using this as an example because I've used it before, instead of bringing other things that I don't want to get into, because I don't want it to appear that I'm bragging, and it's not bragging because I don't have the power. I keep saying this to you before. Again, I don't have the power to do any of these things. But when I go into that space, I don't know what that space and what the blessed field is going to do. But if I bring a request there, I know the request will be responded to in a miraculous and impossible way. And it will be the right response, the right solution set that the person who I'm interceding for, it will be in a way that they will be able to accept. Any questions, any comments?
Yeah, I do have a question, if I may, about a basic expression of the torsion field that I experience. Well, in two different ways. I'm not sure if one is right and the other is wrong, or if they're just both right, just different. Um, Thank you for mentioning how you and someone else experience that differently as well, one seeing themselves or a form of themselves and you not. Uh, I experience in two different ways the torsion field, I used to anyway, as being a form in space, outer space, kind of the expansiveness of that region of that endless space being and the building of the torsion field for each of the dimensional bodies building and growing in size, and see the focus on the outer spinning of the what do we call the filaments of the torsion field. But more recently, I have had the feeling of being a cell in a great body, like part of this rod of Melchizedek, this column that goes through all of the torsion fields like an umbilical cord.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't imagine or see the outer spinning of these
Mm-hmm.
filaments of the torsion field, but I am in the center of it,
Mm-hmm.
like being in the eye of the storm
Yes.
or being in the center of a torus, I guess, not viewing myself at all.
Yeah.
Is one of them more appropriate, do you think?
Both of them are correct. Okay. You are inside of it, and you should be. The first torsion field is created around you, so you're inside of it. So there's gonna come a time where both experiences will happen together.
Oh,
It's your consciousness getting acclimated first to the exterior of the filament and how wide it is, and now focusing on yourself being inside of it. And at some point, the two of them are going to merge.
is
And
that you have the sense of the outer filaments as well as being in the center?
yes,
Oh,
yes, yes. And what happened is that sometimes the outer filament doesn't complete. It took me a long time with the practice. It's not that it's not there, it's that my consciousness could not follow it.
right.
Do you understand? It took me a long time for my consciousness to follow it because I would black out. I would go blank and I don't remember where I am. Because the shift at every dimension, you're shifting higher and higher. So it's so high at some moment I black out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So it's a question of your consciousness having the endurance or acclimating yourself to not pass out while you're going through this major shift in an expansion in awareness. So to help you, your energetic body made you aware of the filament first, which is great. How big or wide, how beautiful it is, etc. But you need to also be aware that you're inside of it. Now, being inside of it is extremely important because you want to create the neutrality around you as well. You want to find yourself. You have to create inclusion that you're inside of it. You're in
Right,
it,
right.
okay? And that inclusion is important because you want to be included in the neutrality. And I think of the past month or 2 3 months, I've been trying to tell you, be aware of the filaments, but also geographically how wide it's spreading as well. Be aware of your core and be aware of core. When it explodes outside of your head, there are filaments that are exploding outside of it. When the first guardian, shield of light and protection and band of neutrality, and the first guardian comes in, pass through the top of your head to the top of the fourth dimensional body, and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. And at that moment, you should be able to sense the filaments spreading from the top of your head underneath your feet, extending to whatever distance it wants to extend. Over time, the two of them will come together. What I should ask you right now is the following. When you experience and you see the filament, is that feeling, when it's complete, different than the feeling of you sitting inside the Melchizedek rod?
Yes, it is not as powerful.
What's not as powerful? The second,
Feeling inside
being inside is less powerful?
is more powerful.
More powerful. Okay, that's correct. That's correct. And it's not only more powerful, but it also, what's the word I'm trying to use? It creates a sensation or a feeling of going in and out. Like you're on the edge of losing consciousness. Okay? It's so potent and so vibrationally so potent, you feel like you're about to pass out. Because you're getting out every time it's higher. Every time it's higher. Every new guardian that comes in, it gets higher. So and for me, this is why I count with my finger. For me, as I'm giving it to you, it's getting created around me too. So at moment, sometimes I pass out for a blank. I'm gone. And I don't remember where I am. And if I don't have my finger folded, I won't remember it's the fifth guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But that feeling of being on the edge, okay? For example, when I was creating the torsion field around Celidia, I felt it. And because I felt it, and I was almost passing out, I knew that I was broadcasting to her.
Mm.
If you don't feel you're on that edge and you're going in and out, you're not broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
It's all cerebral in your head.
Mm-hmm. The oh, the second, as I will call it, experience also have I not then felt the outer filaments, as you call them? Um, I do not necessarily have a sense of the building of the dimensional bodies. I just feel the oneness of this column
Yes.
that is just without boundaries of dimensional limitations or whatever you call it. I just have a sense of it being like like I say, I don't know how to describe it.
Yep.
Is like you're an embryo or a
Yes.
cell in the
Yes.
body, and that just there isn't anything that separates than the dimensional bodies.
You're experiencing unity.
Right. It feels that way
Yeah,
anyway.
you're experiencing unity, and what happened is that because it's a shield of light and neutrality, the neutrality frequency is very specific. I cannot describe it into words, but energetically, when that signature shows up and is around me in the torsion field, I feel it right away. I know what it is,
Hmm.
and when that happens, if I'm doing, let's say, I'm interceding for someone, when that happens, I'm feeling it, and I'm going in and out, and I can feel the neutrality. If they're on the phone with me whilst I'm doing this, I'm going to hear them. If it's a healing, I'm going to hear them sigh because their problem, whatever the interference was. I remember one person being under psychic attack, and they were on the phone with me, and I'm creating it. I'm not complete, maybe 7 or 8 guardian. All of a sudden they're going, oh my God, oh my God. Everything I was hearing and feeling, everything is gone. I want you to understand the power that you're holding in your hand with that simple little tool of the torsion field. Because when you're in the right connection and the right frequency, all of a sudden what you're experiencing right now shows up. And you are becoming so big and so immense and so large that the things of the 3D world, the request that the person has, or your own personal challenge that you're facing at the moment, or lack that you're facing at the moment, will appear to be insignificant in front of it.
Hmm. Right.
And moreover, the feel when you're done with the torsion field and you're doing this and you're listening to the pitch, the field knows your needs. Just like all the birds that are the starlings that are flying together, it knows every lack, every need that you have. A lot of time I go into that space, I'm listening, I don't even request anything, and my needs are being met left to right like this. Some synchronicity. The next morning, or a phone call comes on a few hours later. Everything that I need just shows up. Yes, you can request something if it's something that's important to you, but again, simple requests. I keep using the movie the Lord of the Ring when Gandalf was in the bridge of Khazad-dûm facing the Balrog, this demon from the ancient world, and he was on the bridge. Everybody was pat behind him, and he faced the demon, and he said, "You shall not pass," and that was the only thing he said. How he shall not pass is not something that you have to worry about. You let the energy know it's a decree. It's a command. It's a decree. It's something very simple. Help heal me. Bring peace to this person who's in turmoil at this moment. Bring peace to the world. Peace to the world. Simple things. God will figure out the details. Because that super consciousness knows what to do. You and I would mess it up. We would mess it up really bad.
Thank you, Pierre. That helped very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. The second thing I want to talk about for tonight is a second video from the same source that I had sent you, which is connected also to secret teaching of Jesus. And it has to do with, again, inner teaching that the church fathers, let's say the modern version of the church fathers that we have around 325 AD in Nicaea, removed from the teaching, the Gospels and the teaching of the Bible, because they didn't want the kind of power and autonomy that it would create, and it would invalidate the place of the clergy. And it has to do with a word that Christ, it was a request in the PC Sophia, Mary Magdalene, and asked Jesus, how do we free ourselves when we are being interfered with by the archon? Now, the Demiurge creates reflected light, false light. The archons, they merge with ourselves and manipulate our emotional body, but the two of them are working together, right? To keep us separated, to keep us fragmented, to keep us in a hierarchy, instead of seeing us completely connected into this blessed field as an integral part of the blessed field, and letting the morphogenic field of God take over and take care of all of our needs, right? So as we sit in this, what happened is that eventually there comes a point where God, when Mary Magdalene asked Jesus, what do we do? Jesus responded in one word in Aramaic. And that one word actually means, and it's a decree. Again, if you're in that state of connected to the blessed field, and you're all connected to that pitch and the sound, and it's that one word that you need to say, and when you say it, all the archon will break from you. The word actually in Aramaic means break, but it's not a break like and the way the church fathers actually did this is that they translated. So the teaching was given in Aramaic. The Bible, first Bible, were written in Greek. Then from the Greek translation in Latin. And every time they translated, they watered down the meaning. Instead of it being a command or a decree, it became almost go get behind me, go behind me, do something else, instead of saying what Jesus said in Aramaic, which is prake, which actually means to break a chain. And if you say this, and I'm going to describe to you how you work yourself into the practice of this. If you say this the way you're being told to say it, it will immediately, instead of, we have a whole protocol on how to deal with the archon. We call Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Raphael. We do, I see you, I have my eyes fixed on you. We do all this other stuff and every time you try to get rid of them, it's like trying to get rid of water, cockroaches. They scurry away and they come back. But if you're doing this practice and you command them, it's God itself in you that's telling them that word. The moment you repeat it from a state of command and decree, they have no choice. They will have to walk away from you. I have experienced this since I shared this with you. I did the torsion field. And since the first torsion field come in the fourth dimension, and the archons are 4.5 dimensional being, I repeated the word out loud when I was doing the first, after I've done finishing the first torsion field. I could feel immediately like energy, like scurrying from me, like literally radiating out and breaking from me. I personally experienced it. So,
Yeah.
yes,
I'm sorry. It's Praqe?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes. And when you say, and the way you say it is that you have to, this is why I'm recommending you do the torsion field first before you say it, because you need to be in your heart and you need to be surrendered and connected to to certainty, because you're not asking for them to break tomorrow. It's an immediate decree. It's coming directly from God. It's the part of you that's already God that's commanding them.
It comes from the monad
Yes,
within you.
yes. It's the part of you that's already ascended and God that's saying to them, prake, which is out, go. But break all the chain, because it translates literally into break.
Up here,
You
are you
don't even
saying that?
have to. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Sorry,
Janice.
sorry, you go ahead, Margie.
Yeah, but you don't even have to think about the Archon for them to go.
No,
That word is
that's
just,
all
you
you
know,
need. That's all
it's
you need.
like getting rid of the negativity.
Every influence that they had, every kind of like whisper, every kind of shadow that they were creating. You know how the archon merge with your emotional body, and they're
Yes,
behind you, and you don't know if what's yours, what's not yours. All of it will go away. Everything
I
will go
know.
away.
I know this also in the video. They say you have to do it for 7 days.
I'm gonna get into that in a second. Yes,
Oh God, I'm sorry.
that's okay. Janice, yes,
That ties in, I guess, to my question. As you said, that when we do the actual process of, I see you and I command you to be gone, and then call upon Archangel Michael or whatever, uh, but and that disperses them, but they come back.
yes.
So maybe what you're talking about the 7 days will be the finishing of their influence totally forever.
I don't know if it's forever, but you will have a asset. You will have a nuclear asset that in any time
Mhm.
in the future, if they were ever to show up, you just have to repeat the word from that same place,
I
and they
see.
will scurry. They will
Okay.
immediately go away.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and so the practice is that for 7 days in a row, you repeat the same thing. You get into your heart, you repeat it from your chest, not from your throat, not from nasal, but from your chest. So
So you say it out loud.
you say it out loud, yes, from the
Yeah.
chest voice, yes. I have to tell you, when I did the torsion field the first time, when I was doing that practice, I didn't even say it out loud. I repeated in my consciousness,
Oh.
and everything scurried. I could feel like a ripple, like all of the stuff just went poof out.
How does this compare to Begone Time and Space?
Beyond
Mm.
time and space is a way to do celestial and divine magic. It's not addressing the archon.
Okay, I see.
It's a different thing. It's basically theurgy.
Okay, and the Gate
Paragati,
Alagade,
parasambhati.
Parasangade.
This is a disconnection to everything. It's a practice of non-attachment.
so that the Praka is really it's in its own field.
Category by itself, and it's directly connected to the negative influence of the archon to
Okay,
cast them out.
got it. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question that is completely out of the subject. I haven't done my devotion to Amma for some times, and today something tells me to do it, but I cannot find my little card where the I forgot one word where the mantra is written.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it is said uh, Om, Ayim, Shrim, Rim,
Yeah.
and I can remember the rest.
Sarasvati Deviyana
Deve Saraswati Devaye,
Deviyan Om Aim Shrim Rim Sarasvati Deviya Namaha.
Deviya Namaha. Devaye or Deviya? I think it's Devaye. Okay.
Deviya.
Deviya.
Dev,
Okay. Om,
de,
Ayim, Shrim, Rim, Saraswati Deviya Namaha.
yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that in mind, this idea of that word is the easy button. Instead of doing a practice that's longer and more complicated, there's so many things that are happening now. We need to be more ready and more agile, more having spiritual
Oh, God.
agility. Okay, and we need
Mm-hmm.
to be more prepared for all of the changes and all. There's so many things that are happening in the world that could trigger or become a backdoor for the archon to try to influence us. There's so many crazy things that warmongering things that are happening in the world at this moment, civil warmongering things that are so scary and so terrifying. And if you allow yourself to be captured by the metrics, by the illusions of a news media outlet or whatever it is that's going on, and the inflation, before you know it, your emotions are going to be inflated by the archon. Now, realizing this, how do we get rid of it like this? Instead of doing the whole long practice, one word. Do the torsion field, get yourself into the right state, one word, everything screens out. And I'm telling you, I felt it physically. Like suddenly it was just like I'm sitting in the torsion field and then poof, I said the word and then everything just went out.
But in the video, they mentioned that you have to put both hands above your head the first night.
Not your head, the hand on your heart. They want you to come from a heart space. But if you're doing the torsion
Oh,
field, you're already in the heart space.
yeah. Okay.
If you're already in the torsion field, you're already in the heart space. You're completely surrender. You're in the blessed field.
In other words, they're telling you to talk to the God within you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They are telling me in the video they take very deep breath, take 3 deep breaths, put your hand on your heart, and it's a chest voice thing, and I understand what they're saying, but if
Yeah.
you're in the torsion field, and what happened, the reason they want you to do it for 7 days is that you need to be acclimated with that decree and the command. It's not going to come the first time you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything else, it's going to take some practice.
Yes.
So if you do it for 7 days, every day it's gonna get better and better and better, and until the end you're going to feel you will truly resonate it the way you will need to resonate it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
actually great practice for the bigger on time and space when we're gonna be practicing divine theology,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to come as a sovereign and saying break.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pierre, when we do this practice, once we've acclimatized to it, the prake, that would also resolve the demiurge
Mm-hmm.
interference with the ceiling, sort of what you started talking about, that keeps us separated. Would that be an automatic dissolution then of that separative
I, I, I,
intention?
I don't want to say definitively, because there are always back doors that can be created by us slipping back. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that we at moment feel certain and we're sovereign, and at another moment we feel like we're a victim. And if you slip back, the same way we are now fallen, from where we were before in the Garden of Eden, we are trying to elevate. The same way we can ascend, we can descend. So, yes, it actually is going to break this glass ceiling, and take you there. But it's not past the fifth dimensional ascension level. Once you pass that, you're not going to fall back into the fourth dimension anymore. Things on the fourth dimension, like the Demiurge and the Archon, are not going to affect you. They're going to be all the challenges, but you're not going to be affected by them anymore. So the moment you begin to hear the pitch and sense the pitch, and you're focusing on the pitch, and you're already doing that, and you're also doing the prake, you are no longer going to be influenced by the Demiurge. You're gonna feel it the way. For example, you see the way you're sensing the torsion field right now. It's because you're getting closer to the real practice, Janice. When you see yourself as belonging, and how powerful and how potent it is, it's because you've already shifted. You're going into an evolution of your consciousness, because you're getting acclimated and you're claiming your sovereignty slowly and gradually. So there's a point where you pass it, you can't go back anymore.
Well, it just doesn't feel right. If
It
I
doesn't.
try.
Sometimes your consciousness slides. There's enough noise going outside to make you, slide a couple of days or two, when you begin to feel, wait a minute, I'm not where I was before. What changed? And then you catch yourself. Oh, I'm not doing it right. I'm letting myself be confused by this. Like, for example, the example for the channeling I was giving you is that I realized 2 days ago, yesterday, that and the way I prepare for all channeling, I asked the collective, in this instance, the Galactic Region Council, I asked them for forgiveness for 2 or 3 days. And then when that happened, my consciousness is acclimated, and that's what I'm doing now. And that's what I haven't done, because I got so busy in December, and even now with everything else that's going on around the world. It's very hard to isolate yourself in a mountain when you're living in a world where the media, even if you're not watching the news, anytime you open your phone, something pops up and tells you there's chaos out there. And it eventually seeps through, particularly for somebody like me that's an empath. And so I'm realizing now that's the part I didn't do. And I need to do this practice this week tightly to reconnect back, so that I can receive the rest of the channeling.
Thank you.
You're correct. You could slide down slightly, and then you realize, because growth is not a straight line. It's a sine wave. So there might be a moment where you're going to slide down, but you're going to pick but because you know the difference between the two, you're going to realize, wait a minute, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. What am I doing now? What's distracting me? And then, okay, now let me self-correct. Make sense, Janice?
Got you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let us take a 5-minute break, and then we'll do the closing meditation. 5 minutes. Take a very deep and slow breath. And as you inhale and exhale deeply and slowly, allow the universal life force that permeates everything to enter into your lungs. Keep breathing deeply and slowly. And let your soul and your awareness drop in the middle of your chest. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Let your mind and your heart sync with each other. And notice what you noticed. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. And the guardian alliance of light approach you, offering to gift you their shields of light and protection and a band of neutrality. If you are ready to accept this gift at this time, answer affirmatively. And let the energy of the first guardian begin in the core of the earth, counter-rotating, passing through the bottom of my feet, moving through my core, exiting outside of my head, and moving into the top of the fourth dimensional body while creating all around me a torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and stillness of God. The axis at the top of your head extends, and it attracts now the energy of the second guardian coming in from the top of this fifth dimensional body, rotating clockwise, passing through the top of my head, moving through my core, exiting at the bottom of my feet, and going into the core of the earth while creating all around me. A torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and stillness of God. The axis at the bottom of my feet extends, and it attracts now the energy of the third guardian, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of my feet, passing through my core, exiting outside of my head and going to the top of the sixth dimensional body, and creating all around me. A torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and stillness of God. The axis at the top of my head extends, and it attracts now the energy of the fourth guardian coming in from the top of the seventh dimensional body, rotating clockwise, passing through the top of my head, moving through my core, exiting at the bottom of my feet, and going into the core of the earth while creating all around me. A torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and stillness of God. The axis at the bottom of my feet extends, and it attracts now the energy of the fifth guardian coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of my feet, passing through my core, exiting outside of my head, and going into the top of the fifth dimensional body while creating all around me. A torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the top of my head extends, and it attracts now the energy of the sixth guardian coming in from the top of the nine-dimensional body, cascading down into the top of my head while rotating clockwise, passing through my core, exiting at the bottom of my feet, and going into the core of the earth while creating all around me. A torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and stillness of God. The axis at the bottom of my feet extends, and it attracts now the energy of the seventh guardian coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of my feet, passing through my core, exiting outside of my head, and going into the top of the 10th dimensional body while creating all around me a torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the top of my head extends and it attracts now the energy of the 8th guardian, cascading down from the top of the 11th dimensional body, rotating clockwise, passing through the top of my head, moving through my core, exiting at the bottom of my feet, and going into the core of the earth while creating all around me the torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and the stillness of God. The axis at the bottom of my feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the 9th guardian, coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of my feet, passing through my core, exiting outside of my head, and going into the top of the 12th dimensional body while creating all around me a torsion field of neutrality. The axis at the top of my head extends and it attracts now the energy of the 10th guardian, coming in from the top of the 13th dimensional body, rotating clockwise, passing through the top of my head, moving through my core, exiting at the bottom of my feet, and going into the core of the earth while creating all around me a torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and stillness of God. The axis at the bottom of my feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the 11th guardian, coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of my feet, passing through my core, exiting outside of my head, and going into the top of the 14th dimensional body while creating all around me a torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and stillness of God. The axis at the top of your head extend, and it attracts now the energy of the second guardian, the 12th guardian, cascading down from the top of the 15th dimensional body, rotating clockwise, moving through the top of my head, passing through my core, exiting at the bottom of my feet, and going into the core of the earth while creating all around me a torsion field of neutrality. I am in the rest and stillness of God. Listen. Listen as if the more than 100 trillion cells in your body had ears. What am I not hearing? What is the blessed field trying to tell me? crackhead. Thank you for the blessings. I accept the gifts and I receive with gratitude. Take a very deep and slow breath. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Pierre. I hear a very subtle, staticky kind of hum.
Mm.
It's not a strong. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Yes,
How do I know that this is not the Demiurge?
it's not the Demiurge.
Because
The
the
Demiurge would not create. The Demiurge is trying to keep you in 3D.
yes.
That hum, that kind of static thing in the background, that's definitely coming from the monad directly. It's coming
Okay.
from the blessed field.
Okay. When I say deep, profound reverence
Yes.
and gratitude for the many gifts received, in my other sort of for a practice of meditation, and I feel that oneness connection.
Yes.
That could be the demiurge, but because we've done the torsion field, then I know that I'm connected truly.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your attention and for this great work we're doing together. I'm so grateful for your co-creation. There's more information I'm going to be sharing with you in the coming weeks. Thank you so much. Deep love. Good night, and thank you for your support on Patreon and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
Thank you, Pierre. Good night, Janice.
Good night, Marjorie. Thank you. Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you.
Love you. Love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye.